They still call me Joey Ho all over the Soviet Union. Years had passed. I was logging thousands of kilometers a month, crisscrossing the country. The act was real tired, belting out rockabilly songs about industrial productivity and huge crop yields. I needed a change, real bad. My life wasn't horrible, at least not yet. I still had my little place in Moscow, no one was gonna kick me out. I still managed to have some good times when I wasn't on the road. A night at the movies, for example. The technical wizards had developed something new, turning old black and white films into color. So they had a demonstration. Didn't turn out so good, in my opinion, but of course nobody asked me. I was walking around town on one of my days off, and I came home to a hand-delivered notice. Premier Khruschev had been invited to America for an official visit. Things were bad between the two countries, as usual. And somebody got a bright idea. What if a young person came along to sow seeds among all the young leftists in the big cities? For example, political science students at the universities.
Smile on what happened or check what's going to happen, you'll miss
Young
what's
beatniks,
happening.
as they called
Turn
them,
your eyes
dropping out of the
inside
system
and
for
dig
poetry,
the
painting,
vacuum.
that music called
Tomorrow.
modern jazz. They could be guided toward becoming real communists, couldn't they? So maybe Joey Ho could help. Take back my real name, and get rid of the stupid haircut.
Rolls through the city. This is indeed an historic visit.
And so it
The
came
first
to
ever
pass.
made by a Soviet
Khruschev
researcher
hit
this
New
country.
York, and so did I. I've never seen it before, since I'd never been further east than Reno. I was impressed, and I don't impress easy. Parades, crowds. I went to Greenwich Village, to an underground cinema, as they called it. Watched really crappy films, talked afterwards with young people about showing the workers' struggles better. They looked at me like I was kind of nuts, or maybe just square. I didn't care, I had my job to do. And we went to Washington, of course. Our nation's capital. Big deal. The Washington Monument.
Their flight had
George
forced
owned
them a splendid
slaves.
view of the city and its
The Lincoln Memorial. Abe freed them. Didn't matter, because the working class was still slaves no matter what color they were. And then we were in the air, headed for the Iowa farmlands.
If you receive warning of an enemy attack,
One of
get
the
to the
reporters
nearest
thought
fallout
he played a
shelter
joke.
promptly.
He used
But
his
if you're caught in
interviewing
the open
reporter to
and
make
there's
a
a
tape.
brilliant nuclear flash
Security
in the
didn't think
distance,
it was
take
funny at
cover
all.
immediately.
years ago, they stored this fodder in upright silos.
Not
Now
much
they
for me
packed
to
it into
do.
huge pits
The locals
where it
wouldn't
keeps
listen to
just as
anything
well,
about
and
communism.
a lot less expensive.
Next stop, LA.
Both Mr. Khrushchev and his hosts voiced the
Lots
hope
of
that
bad
they will be
memories
in
here going
receiving
back
greater
years,
exchange
but
of
I'd keep
American
my
and
nose
Soviet
to the
dollars.
grindstone, hook up with the leftists working in the movies. And then, we all got on a train bound for San Francisco. I was so nervous that the bottom was dropping out of my stomach. I didn't want to be reminded that I'd left San Francisco on the train headed north, after Mailing's brothers threw me out of town. Could I do my job there, or would I be shaking all over? I did start with a case of the shakes, but I lost them. The city really hadn't changed very much. Chinatown was pretty much the way I remembered it. Eventually, I found a beatnik club where I saw drugs being sold. And a jazz place where kids could go dig the music, while being separated from the grown-ups by a wire fence. Might save them from evil liquor, but maybe I could slip a few words to them about the working class. And then, something snapped, way down deep inside me. I wouldn't go back to the Soviet Union. Never. I had suffered horribly in San Francisco, but it was looking pretty good compared to the nasty old apartment blocks in Moscow. And I couldn't face turning back into Joey Ho yet again. If they wanted me to go back, they'd have to find me first. I could steal a car, make a run for it across the Golden Gate Bridge, heading north again. Circle back when the heat is off. They will never take Joseph Backhoe alive. And as it turned out, they didn't.